I am resident of Collinwood for YouTube. Jules Saints, that is my buddy Patrick McCray, that is my buddy Alan Gallant. Um,
I'm glad your voice finally cracked there, Jewel.
I
There's going to be
know.
so mice could hear you.
That's right. That's right. Oh God.
Old dog whistle himself. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We're here to review the incident, and I'm not talking about some dead hooker. No, I'm talking about a movie where where these two hoodlums enter a train full of people and cause a ruckus. So,
Can you can you describe the ruckus?
yeah. Well, Alan chose this movie. Why'd you pick this one, buddy?
Ah, because it's really different and it's unsettling and it sort of encapsulates 1967 from a different angle other than, like hippies and flower
It
power.
really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does do that. That's for sure. It has some very unique camera angles too, especially on the train,
It's
which they took a camera and they put it in the car box. I think they said, which was really cool. That
They
was
did
cool.
this whole thing where they would have at one point it was like Tony Musanti would go into the camera and then would come out of the camera and you'd be seeing the other side
Wow,
of the car
Mhm.
box.
that was really
Yeah,
slick.
Yeah, it's very cool. This film always reminded me of early Cassavetes' work too. The way that the exposure of it, the urbanization, the urban stuff in the black and white
See,
and
that
street
that's helpful for me because I've never seen any of that Cassavetes stuff. I've
early
seen clips.
Cassavetes. Yeah, it's I want to say one of his earliest films, and now of course it's the name of it's escaping me, but I will have it momentarily.
It was Boatniks,
Yeah, the Boatniks, right?
John Cassavetes Boatniks.
That was when he was married to Toady Fields uh, instead of Jenna Rollins, right? Uh, I mean, he did like independent films where he took actors out on the streets of New York and just filmed, and that's kind of the kind of thing that you're getting, especially at the beginning of this film. And filmography. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, shadows, splitting faces. Yeah, I think it's shadows actually. Yeah, it's Shadows is a 1958 American independent drama film directed by John Cassavetes about race relations during the Beat Generation years in New York City. Um, and it's it was actually shot in 58 and 58 and 57, but he reworked it because it was a terrible print. It came out badly, so he redid it. And it is very, very New York. And there are several other films that he did, independent films that he did, and some short films that he did before he started to get full blown paying gigs, where he would just use his friends like Jenna Rollins, who he was married, would get married to,
Sure.
and they would just do it for nothing or next to nothing, just to be in a edgy sort of black and white film and get some experience
Now,
there.
I'm going to point something out here. Everything you've said about Cassavetes, you say about Ed Wood, but we give Ed Wood a hard time
We do because
because he doesn't have talent. But
be, well, he has talent. It's a different
it's
kind
a
of
weird
talent.
talent. That's right. I have to stick to my own mantra.
It's very, very different. Cassavetes also was a weird and different talent at first, though. Nobody came embracing him for quite some time, and then when they finally did, they But I think that Cassavetes had the advantage of having a unique cinematic style
Yeah.
that was not just because he was broke, you know. And Ed Wood sort of developed his own unique cinematic style, but it was just subjectively, it was just different. It was,
Yeah.
he had a very sort of a different sideways look at the world than Cassavetes or several other of those sort of Beat generation cinematographers or directors had. And Cassavetes also acted in some of his own films too early on, and later acted.
The hell of an actor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I want to say what he. Um, yeah, his Nick Cassavetes, of course, his son. So the tradition continues, and Jenna just passed away here. So
Yeah, I know.
she was obviously incredibly well thought of as an actress as well. So there was a lot of sort of prestige in the Cassavetes coaching tree and acting tree or directing tree, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And this film, the first time I saw this film, it immediately reminded me of him. Those opening scenes, because they take place with those, on the street, in front of storefronts, on the train, finally. But
It's all very real.
it's
And then
incredible.
there's Ed McMahon.
And then there's Ed McMahon, who is actually kind of real in this.
I have no problem with Ed's
I
performance.
mean, he's considering the only other acting work he'd done up to this point, I think, was some Budweiser commercials, and going yes on
Hey, he's great in that
TV.
werewolf movie with the son of who is it? Alan Arkin. Adam Arkin.
Oh, Adam Arkin.
Yeah, he and Adam Arkin are in some teen werewolf movie.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
It's the one I have not seen, but I can well imagine that I would probably want to see it now. So
It's great. In its own perverse way, it's a delight.
Yeah. So this film was, I think this film, like there's another film that comes out the same year, 66, 67, when it's made to when it was released. And that's Dutchman, which is a shorter film. And it stars Alan Freeman Jr. And I can't remember the woman's name now, but it's Dutchman. It's a
Mary
action
Baraka.
from a play.
Mary Baraka,
or as he was known then, Leroy Jones.
Yeah.
This has the same kind of texture and gritty feel to it, and there's that building melodrama that happens in sections of it, and it really kind of almost exhausts you as the viewer too. It's like, it's holy crap. It just keeps you on edge the whole time.
It's a very uncomfortable film, and
Yeah.
I say that as high praise.
Yeah, because that's its intention. I mean, it's definitely intended to be that way. Whereas Mary Baraka is talking about race relations and being highly critical of what white people were and perhaps still are doing societally and personally to people of color, particularly African Americans. This film that we're dealing with now kind of strips down the pettiness of people. It just these two guys sort of represent the stripping away of all the complaining and what you think of as how people are and how, as opposed to how they really are when they're exposed to this kind of awful pressure. And I mean, there's a release, a real life release in this, but there's no real redemption for these people who have been terrorized because they've also been exposed in different ways. Brock Peters is a racist, and even though he's an African American, that's a strange and new idea in 1965, 66, 67 in there, in terms of a film subject, because at that point, of course, everybody's it's all civil rights and everything else, and as it should be. We're talking the other way around. We're talking about the racism of America as in general as being part of white supremacy and all of that. But this character is exactly the opposite of that. He is, and he gets kind of, laid bare. His long-suffering wife Ruby Dee wants him to be wants him to be a more forgiving person and less bitter all the time because it's ruining her life. And then you've got all these other people. Ed McMahon, he's ironically he's like worried about spending money, so he ends up on this terrible train ride instead of taking a cab home, which his wife has suggested, with their child.
Yeah, husband of the year.
Child, you know.
Yeah.
And so they're all these, and they're the elderly couple. They feel so helpless, and Jack Gilford is brilliant in this. Of course he's a great comedian, and of course great comedians make great tragedians a lot of times.
Yeah, they do.
So
it's an astounding cast.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. Even the character actors in it are well known and really good. But it's got serious A-list performers in it. I mean, Brock Peters at the time, he was an A-list performer as an African American, which Ruby Dee was too. Most often seen on the New York stage and with her husband Ossie Davis at times. But
okay, so here's my question to you: Ossie Davis versus Brock Peters. Go.
Ossie Davis has played JFK. He wins.
Yes, he was a good JFK too. He really was.
Yes. Yeah.
The Ossie Davis JFK.
And I like Brock Peters a lot because he was in Star Trek. He had a great career. Going way back to the late 40s, early 50s, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really good stuff. Now he was in he's in To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
Yes, which is a tremendous role for him. Very, an understated role that sort of builds emotionally, which is a great role. So this is great, and this is actually Martin Sheen's first role on film. I think the same year he did 10 Blocks on the Camino Real too, which was a television special. So he was an up and comer. And Musante, whose career should have been huge, but he didn't want it to be. He turned down a second year of Toma, which ended up becoming, it was Robert Blake took over the role, and they changed the name of the series around and gave him a cockatiel or cockatoo. Beretta. That was Toma. They just reworked it because Musante only would sign a 1-year contract. He was much more interested in doing developmental plays in New York and various other things than he was doing some Hollywood stuff. He stuck to his guns, and after the first year, he left. And he never regretted it, apparently.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, he never regretted it. He just didn't want the burden of that kind of sort of fame. He considered himself a serious actor, and he wanted to remain unfettered that way, I guess. And he was an appreciated actor. He did a lot of films early in his career, not so many later, but he did episodic television now and then, probably to finance, stuff he was doing on stage or whatever. And, but interesting guy. And in this one, it's like I said when I was talking to you guys, this guy has an amazing mouth. It's larger than his entire face when he goes into like these laughing jags and stuff like that. It's like wild, unsettling, and it's supposed to be. How he would just take up and of course the director realizes this and does close-up shots of him when he's going into maniacal laughter and so on. It's a great build from the beginning of it too, because these two guys, they the story so well establishes who they are and what they're doing, that they're just absolute threats to everybody that comes within 50
Oh,
yards of
Christ,
them.
yeah.
You know, they're complete mayhem. They have absolutely nothing to do with uh, morality or ethics or civility or anything like that, and they're compulsively antisocial. And you look at it, and I would imagine they probably worked it. I mean, they're obviously drunk, but they seem like they've got this mania going, like they're also high on something.
Yeah, I mean, it seems vaguely Methian.
Yes, it does seem a little bit methian. You're right,
Yeah,
or what they used to call, just greenies, or pill speed, that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Even before methian, but yeah, it does seem like they're on something that's cranking up pretty good.
sure.
So yeah, and that's a high energy performance and difficult to maintain. I mean, I would imagine it was an exhausting shoot for those
It
guys.
had to be.
Yeah,
It had to be. Uh, and Bo Bridges.
and Bo Bridges in one of his first roles, I
And
think,
he's
on
great. My
television
God,
before
he's
this.
so good. Boy, when he snaps, that
Mhm.
fight scene, nobody uses a cast like him.
No, but no kidding. He's just
Holy
like,
shit.
yeah, he.
That was ninth configuration country.
Well, I mean, the build in his character to that snap is great because you can see that this is a guy who is he's trained, he knows what he's doing, and he just finally says, I'm just gonna, you know,
I've had all I can
I'm not
stand, and
gonna
I can't
allow for
stand no
that. I'm not gonna
more.
allow you to touch that child.
Yeah.
That was the straw that broke his back, which of course makes him the most altruistic character, the most courageous character. And he's never afraid of these guys. He's always looking, and if he backs down at all, it's because he doesn't want anybody else to get hurt. It's like Musante is like on him, on him, on him, and he's kind of giving it right back, with that Southern charm, that Oklahoma charm thing
Yeah.
going on. And he's not really like afraid of him. Uh, so when he finally breaks it, it makes sense that he would do something about it.
It's interesting. It because I think of these guys coming back from Vietnam, are trained to kill everything from an ant on up.
Yeah, and we don't know if he's actually been in combat, but it maybe we can assume maybe he has, that he's home because he got wounded or something.
It
Um,
it makes me wonder what a remake, a slightly more faithful remake, uh, to the novel, of First Blood, what
oh
that
yeah,
would be like. Because
yeah,
again, it's a story of what happens when you've got these guys and they're trained so well, and you drop them down into society and they run into the wrong part of it.
right. They get harassed, or they get instead of being just merely like isolated from society, they become, yeah, hurt by society in some
Antagonized by
way,
it, yeah.
antagonized. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the many things that worries me about Trump putting these soldiers into major cities.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Yes, but that's not their job.
It
You
is
know,
not
they're
their job. As a matter of fact, I mean, everybody has warned against it for hundreds of years. That the army's job is to defend us from outside
that's
enemies,
right.
not police the American people. So they're trained to defend against outside enemies, to view that those people that they are put down with as enemies, and treat them as such, and not as like, you're the population. I'm here to protect you, and,
Yeah,
and I will protect you from certain elements of society, criminals, and all of that sort of thing. But in general, you're my responsibility, not my enemy.
you would think Bill Clinton just giving him a mouthful of wisdom really would would have worked
Apparently, it's a
his
different
magic
bubble, but
better.
it does. First time I saw that, I thought the same thing. So,
No,
um,
I mean, You'd go back in time and you tell Lincoln this, right? I mean,
What about Donald Trump and Bill
I mean,
Clinton?
because he sent the Union Army to New York because they did not want to go into the Civil War because they didn't want
that
to
was
fight.
that was the draft rights. That's correct.
They didn't want to fight for slavery,
They didn't want to fight for anything.
and
Draft
he
right.
had them shot. They were all shot.
Well, they weren't all shot,
Well,
but
they weren't
some
all
were.
shot, but they were shot by the
Yeah.
army.
Yes. Yes, and that was well.
I don't know about this. What are you talking about?
There was a war going on inside the country, though. That's the difference, and that was also contested at the time. A lot of people thought that he shouldn't have conscripted people. It was a draft that had not been instituted before the war. So there was a lot of stuff going on there that was exceptional, obviously, when you're fighting inside your own country. And part of that country's decided it doesn't want to be part of you anymore, and the rest of the country decides you can't do that. That's unconstitutional, and blah blah blah.
I have to step out for a moment because this started a little later than I thought. There's something I need to take care of. I'll be back.
You bet. You bet.
All right.
But point taken. Sure. They didn't. They did that, and a lot of people thought that Lincoln was definitely wrong for doing that. But it was an in-country situation. Unfortunately, we were fighting a war with ourselves, which made it more, complicated. Let's put it that way. But yeah, absolutely, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be using federal troops to where the states have their own, they have their own people and also police departments and all of that sort of thing. So it's actually in violation of posse comitatus, and that was one of the things that was brought up previously. The South thought that bringing in National Guard troops during civil rights was a violation of posse comitatus. So there were arguments made for that as well.
The thing about law enforcement that people need to understand is, and this is something I was taught, police officers do not have to help you.
They don't have to help you under certain circumstances. You are correct. But it is primarily their job to basically help you as an individual. No, they don't. No. But to keep society free of crime and any kind of societal breakdown that crime brings, that's their job, really. And also, again, they're not, although the training is sometimes, it's a little bit too much adversarial. They're not trained the same way as troops are trained to be adversarial in a battlefield. They are, that's not their purpose either, is to go in and treat civilian populations in the United States as enemies. So philosophically speaking, I'm not saying practically it doesn't happen, because it does.
No, this is a discussion I was talking about.
Yeah,
because there are people who don't like the police, and always, I think there's a confliction and sometimes a confusion. And I want to make this very clear. Neighborhood watch is not the police. Okay,
they're not. That's civilian population. That's just average citizens who, and they will report things to the police, but they're not. Yeah,
they have no right to take the law in their own hands.
No, they don't. They need to report to law enforcement,
the police.
Yeah,
and I have a very eerie story. My brother was dating a young girl at the time, here in Pennsylvania, obviously, and I had gone over with him to his girlfriend's house, which was not far from where my mother lived. They lived near what we called Oliver Ballfield, but it's Everly Park.
Sure. Okay.
And they lived in the trailer park, and the trailer park wasn't far from a BP gas station. And the BP gas station is no longer there. It's not open for business no more, but it was when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. So I decided, I told my brother, I said, because I had my own money, I said, I'm going to go down and buy a soda. Do you want something? He said, no. So I start walking from his girlfriend's parents' trailer, and I literally get past where all the trailers are to the open public road.
Right.
I start walking on the side of the road because again, it's a road. There's going to be traffic, coming. My mom always said, when you walk on the road, you walk on the side of the road. And you walk with traffic, So going to the BP gas station, I get a couple steps, and they hear, "Hey, you stop! You stop!" And I see this yellow car, and so I did stop. May I help it now? I said, "May I help you?" Because I didn't know who this guy was.
Sure.
He had a gun. He had it on it. He had his hand on that gun, and he said, "What are you doing, Mister?" And at that point in time, I remember what my uncle had said. My uncle was a state constable. He said, "If anybody has a gun, I don't care. This is what I want you to do. I want you to back away and get your arms in the air. Show no threat." And I said, "Okay." So that's what I did.
Sure.
I did not answer him after that because I realized this guy has intent to do something.
In other words, he was out looking for trouble in the guise of being a neighborhood guy.
Yeah. And I think that's what people need to understand, that
wacko.
There is a really big difference, because what gets grouped now is when people talk about the death of Trayvon Martin, they talk about law enforcement. Well, law enforcement didn't kill Trayvon Martin.
No. Trayvon Martin was killed by a guy who was a wannabe.
Yeah, neighborhood watch.
He was looking for trouble, like this guy was. He was not right in the head and wanted to be a cop, but wasn't.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference.
Of course, it's huge.
It's huge.
I mean, that's a person that needs to be picked up by the cops for doing illegal stuff, like pointing guns at people.
And people say
on the street.
And I know people are saying, "Well, did you get lucky because you're white?" No, I got lucky because at the time, my brother's girlfriend's sister came out onto the porch and saw me with my arms in the air.
Right.
And went back in and got my brother. And he came running, and my brother played football. He came running out.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's going on?" And the guy sped off.
Yeah, of course he did, because he knew what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah. It's like, I'm like,
it's called terrorizing. That's what he was trying to, that's what he was doing.
Yeah. So that stuff.
Yeah. Which is what these two punks were doing, right?
Yeah.
In the movie. I mean, basically, he was just being a punk.
And for those who are wondering, how old was I? I was 16.
Yeah.
But
that's why he picked on you, because you were a kid.
Yeah.
He looked at you and said, "Here's a kid I can scare the hell out of."
I think that happens more often than not, that teenagers are targeted because of their youth.
Sure.
Now, for this movie here, the New York City Transit Authority denied permission to film on its property, including background shots, but the filmmakers shot them any goddamn way.
They did, but then they also created their own car.
Yes.
They made their own car.
Yeah,
so that they wouldn't be having to worry about, trying to shoot while they're actually on a moving car.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did. You're right. And that's something that Cassavetes would have done too. He would have just shot in the streets without asking, early films I'm talking about, without asking. He wouldn't even ask permission. He just said, "Hey, the streets, they're public. I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to shoot stuff late at night so that nobody's going to be bothered. And I'm not going to be bothered." So, back in the day, you could kind of get away with that. You might tick people off, but you could get away with that. Yeah. Now you can't. You have to permit everything out and do all. That's crazy. And even in New York, with permits and everything, you never feel like you own the street because you're being surrounded by the entire city moving around you.
So. Yeah. Well, hopefully moving.
Yeah.
They might be stuck, like with the Ghostbusters shooting.
Well, yeah.
And then you got a real problem on your hands.
Yes, a serious
Yeah.
problem. Then who are you going to call?
That's
Yeah.
they boycotted Ghostbusters the first few weeks in New York. They saw Gremlins instead. That opened on the same day. Yeah, they did because Ghostbusters was such a pain in the ass. It's like, well, Chicago could have told you that.
Yeah,
Don't
seriously.
let Dan Aykroyd shoot a movie in your city with lots of cars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
it's going to really disrupt everything. Yeah.
In order to get the footage, cinematographer Gerald Hirschfeld and his son rode the subway and subsequently shot the moving background with the camera hidden in the cardboard box.
Right.
The outdoor scenes of the train were filmed on and around the Bronx section of what is now demolished Third Avenue Lane. So Hirschfeld said in an interview that he filmed the black and white. He filmed it in black and white in order to get the more realistic style of
Very gritty.
photography.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this too is there aren't that many elevated trains left in New York. There are some, a few, but that's kind of cool. You're seeing an elevated train now. I always associate elevated trains with Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The L.
There are a few of them, and certainly were a few of them in New York.
Well, and there's like half and half. I mean, like the one that goes to Flushing Meadows doesn't start out that way, but
right, but it ends up that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
there's a lot of trains here in Pennsylvania. So.
Well, the trains all end up above ground in New York after you get outside the city, for sure.
Yeah.
Whatever direction you're going in, they definitely end up above ground then.
I got to confess. Well, this has nothing to do with any of this. I can't stand the New York subway.
Yeah,
it only works if you have an intimate knowledge of New York City.
I like the incoming and outgoing train system, though. I really enjoy that. It's comfortable. It's clean. Like going to Southern Connecticut.
Sure. Oh yeah. That's different. That's different.
Yeah, but, I like that train system. That's the train. That's like the Hudson River line and all of the different lines.
Yeah, I'm a tube guy.
Yeah,
London Underground, man. They know what they're doing.
It's it's one of the most efficient in the world. It's
so elegant and such a crazy city.
Yeah,
with roads going everywhere. But it makes it a perfect grid. So easy to follow. Even I could do it.
Yeah, and I understand Paris has a nice little.
Paris Metro's great too.
Yeah. I would dearly love to take the trains in London and Paris, no doubt about it. At some point, I've never been to Europe, so I've been to South America and I've been to Canada, and that's been it. So I've been stuck in the Americas. Oh my God,
No. You have great stuff waiting for you.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. My partner worked for a Fortune 500 company with $1 million budget, Hard Rock Cafe, and she went to Europe. So she was in Europe for 10 years. So she's trying to get me to come back. Right now, we're just working our heads off doing theater. But it's cool. I like the sort of New York vibe of this movie, even though it's gritty and threatening and menacing.
It's so authentic, though.
It really is. It really is.
It's it works well as a precursor to all those, Taxi Driver and Shaft and all those other, New York movies that are going to be so deeply ingrained with the grit.
And just a few years later in the 70s. And it is, of course, New York was a very gritty place then as well. So it was kind of reflective of the times. Before it was Disneyfied, it was pretty rough in places that it's no longer rough in anymore. So.
What's your guys' favorite scenes in this movie?
The climax for me. Even when the cops break in,
of course, the first thing they do is try to arrest Brock Peters.
Yeah, they get the wrong guy, and it's justifying everything he thought.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, every action is a commentary of one another. It's of course, this was a time that was big on social commentary anyway. So, this is, I would have to say it's the same thing. That whole build up to the fight, and then the denouement where everybody ends up getting off the train. And of course, it leaves you with those questions, and it leaves you with all the flaws and everything else of society when the bum falls out of his perch on the seats, and people just step over him and leave him there.
It's
Just, just it's
it's
like,
New York,
yeah, yeah,
and that's a lot of places.
yeah. It's not just New York. Just New York is a good backdrop for that,
Mm,
especially at that time. But
mm.
yeah, yeah.
Well, at least it's not like Jason Takes Manhattan, where they say they're in New York, but they're in Canada.
Yeah.
But
Right. Well, I mean, Canada gave him a heck of a deal to film.
I,
Vancouver was a wonderful place to film for many, many years. So,
Joel, you can just stop that sentence with, it's no Jason Takes Manhattan or whatever,
yeah,
just
yeah,
stop it there. You don't have to even throw in the Canada part.
yeah. Jason takes wherever we could get a tax break.
oh my
Such a great trailer too. God, it was such a
God.
good trailer.
It's a great opening too with that
Yeah.
movie, Jason Takes Manhattan. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw my Jason video about Jason Takes Manhattan.
I did not need to see it.
It
It's
was it was it was not the Muppets in Manhattan, that's for sure. All right.
right, right. I have a theory about Jason Takes Manhattan. It involves a certain killer in your dreams.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it to you guys. But yeah, this movie is really interesting. The camera shots are very provocative, especially in the
Mhm.
train. And even what I love most is the build up to on the train with every different character aspect because it's
You need to
each
know their backgrounds in order to fully understand how they
yeah
respond. Yeah.
each person's different. They got their own personality, and I love how they're getting there because they do have an opportunity. Oh, we could have took a taxi.
Yeah.
No, no,
No, no.
let's take the train.
Or they're arguing about, their marriage, or they're arguing, or this the one couple where the guy's like really kind of sexually creeping on the girl, which is
Yeah.
Donna Mills, by the way.
Nah.
Before she discovered heavy eyeliner. I mean, my
Yeah.
God, she's like all of 20 years old here. Uh, it's
Um,
pretty fun.
yeah. Yeah. I had some trenchant comment that was going to change the world. It's gone.
Oh no.
Oh well. Oh well. What
It'll come,
next?
it'll come back.
Oh my gosh. I'm doing Sweet Revenge tomorrow night. What do you guys give this movie? 1 out of 10.
Well, I
Give
picked
give it a 10. I
I'm going to
think
give it a
it,
10.
it accomplishes exactly what it means to accomplish. And I don't think there's really any room for improvement,
Yeah.
especially given the tools and everything else they had. But that's even a cop out. I think it's a goddamn good movie.
Great movie. It's a small film in a lot of ways. I mean, it had a budget of $1 million, so it wasn't that small, but it was small enough. It was a small film company, uh, and it was based on a book or a story, and so yeah, I thought they did a fantastic job, tremendous job. I'm sure a lot of the budget went into the car and they did get some A-listers who they probably convinced to do it for less than like a huge amount of money, but for the time. And they also had some up and comers that, well, we know Martin Sheen is still doing stuff now, and has his own legacy because he's got a couple of sons that were also either actors or actor directors or producers.
Yeah, Tiger Blood.
Stuff like that. Tiger Blood, amazing. I mean, the ultimate performance art.
He really is.
Speaking of meth-like, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I love this movie. That's I think I first saw this movie when I was first getting into theater. Would have been in the
A
80s.
good time to see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And it just freaked me out. Oh, look at the method! Look at look at all the stuff that's going on in here for actors to do. So, yeah.
I have a suggestion. Actually, I have a couple of suggestions. One is The Swarm. It's a terrible movie. Julie, have you ever seen The Swarm?
Is it about those bees?
Yeah, it's about the bees.
Yes, it is. It's another one like The Killer Bees.
Yeah,
It was Irwin Allen's second to last great disaster movie.
Right.
great with a lowercase g.
Gee.
Yeah. But there's another film I'm going to suggest, which is a real weird one. It's short. It's called The Time of Your Life with James Cagney.
Ooh.
It's Cagney doing the Soroyan Time of Your Life.
Yes,
Cagney had
yes.
started
I
to
know
be
the
a
play.
success,
Yes.
and he said, "What the studios basically said, what movie do you want to make?" And Jimmy said, "I want to make Time of Your Life."
Mm-hmm.
And so they
They
did.
gave him a budget.
And it wasn't big, but it's got an interesting cast. It's a 3-hour play cut down to about 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it works still for the most part. And it's atmospheric as hell, and it takes place right on the verge of World War II. But it was written right on the verge of World War II. And seeing it, knowing that World War II happened, makes the movie that much eerier. It's just one of these interesting, great American kind of stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things here and there that I think you'd like, and it's a good movie.
It reeks of the period. It is.
Yeah.
If you like that period, those late 30s, early 40s,
1939, which is when it won the Pulitzer.
It's great.
Yeah, and it's easy. It's public domain, so I think it's probably easy to find.
Mm-hmm. And so, what's your argument for The Swarm? Just that it's so bad.
It's fun. It's just great, big, weird. Michael Caine in the middle of a disaster movie. Henry Fonda. You love Henry Fonda. Henry Fonda's in it. Fred McMurray.
It's like this film bought houses for all these guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it was a big, fun, dumb late 70s.
Well,
easily forgettable mess.
Everybody wanted to be in a blockbuster because Allen was known for them, and it, hey, I'll take points. Maybe it'll be a big payday, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I love those disaster movies anyway. I think we've talked about Poseidon
Towering
Adventure.
Inferno is actually a very good movie.
Have we talked about Towering Inferno?
I don't think so.
Joel, have we talked about Towering Inferno?
No, we have not.
Do any of these movies do anything for you? Are they moving the bowels of your heart?
I've seen the Tower Inferno. It's pretty good. I've seen The Swarm. Henry Fonda plays a president in that movie.
Yes.
No, he doesn't. I think he plays a scientist.
Or science, something in that.
Yeah.
An authority figure anyway.
Yeah, authority figure. Yeah, The Swarm. So I found both movies. I found The Time of Your Life and The Swarm. Both are on YouTube. So
cool.
So, what do you feel like? I mean, Joel, are these duds? Because you can tell me. I can take it.
Okay, we will watch this movie. I have a suggestion for Tuesday.
Juicy.
Okay, it's a Western. It's called The Great Silence. I think you guys will enjoy it. You may not, but I do.
Okay. So Great Silence Tuesday
night.
We will do that.
All right, great.
At 10, and then we'll do The Swarm Wednesday, and then we'll do Time of Our Life Thursday.
That's an interesting Thanksgiving movie. Yeah. No, it is.
Right.
No, it is. Awesome. When you see it, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah. I'll send you guys The Great Silence because it's on national.
So we'll skip tomorrow, right? Because
I'm doing Jason. I'm doing Jason.
Okay, and we'll pick it back up on Tuesday.
Yeah. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Collins Sport After Dark, will be in the description box. Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Daybook of Val will be in the description box. Go pick it up if you haven't already. It's a fucking awesome book. Great job. But I'll see you guys Tuesday night. You take care.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye now.
Bye.